to shower today.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
You okay now? Kamerada waxay isku soo aadi. Qof ala soo wuxuu
What did you say?
Ma lagu soo wacay? Okay.
No, yeah, somebody called me? Yes, they did. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Magacaaga ii sheeg.
My name is Jasmin Osman.
Okay. Af Soomaali ma ku hadli kartaa?
Yeah. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay. Wa af Soomaali fiican ku hadlaysaa. I know Somali waxoogo inuu ku dhibaayo dhib malaha Somali try to Somali because I don't kana daawanayo waa Soomaaliya waxa ku jira islaama aniga da'deeda aniga Ingiriiska si fiican taa mu aqaana labada waxa baaxashaha ku cabbi jidka aan ku mara aqaana
Right.
dad waxa jira aniga iga daran marka wax qorin wax akhrin marka try ina af Somali ku hadashid then wixii af Somali garan weysayna af Ingiriis dadka comment ku dhig laaga noo soo qoray micnaha waxa ka wadid markaas
Okay.
Okay, inta ku dhalatay Jasmin
I was born in Denmark.
Denmark ku dhalatay
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, kamerada ma isku soo aadin kartaa kamerada si aniga full u ahay
Okay, I'm gonna head to measure the office of culture. So do you want me to, is that okay? Or do you want me to just sit here? I can sit here.
Yes.
Hi, okay, let me put my camera nicely. I'm not very girly. I don't very go on the camera so much. I kind of just started being on the camera. Hi.
Good, hadda ku sheeda. Magacaaga Jasmin laha Denmark ku dhalatay.
Yeah.
Okay. Denmark marka ku dhalatay you grew up Denmark ku kortay sax?
No, my mother raised me in the United States. I met my father on Facebook.
Okay, Denmark marka ku dhalatay intee u guurtay?
Where did I live?
No, you born in Denmark, right?
I was born in Denmark. Lava Shari Wahaisa, American and Danish. I lived in America, but I live with my father. I met him on Facebook a short amount of time, 13 to like 18, in London.
I have to understand you, okay. Waxa ku dhalay okay, inaan ku fahmaan rabaa dadka ina weli waa complicated waxa sheegayso waa qasan tahay.
Yeah.
Okay, you born in Denmark?
Yeah.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in the United States and I lived with my father in my teenage years in London.
Okay, marka yaa Mareykanka ku degnay oo la soo kortay aabaha mise hooyada?
Hooyo.
Hooya Mareykanka degneed ma hooyo markay Denmark ku dhashay Mareykanka imaade Mareykanka ku soo kortay, right?
Yes.
Okay, waa ku fahmay. Then maxaa lagu dhahaa ii sheeg Mareykanka ku kortay what happened then?
My mother left my father, and are you asking me like what happened to me when I grew up, or?
Yes.
Okay, my mother left my father because my father was very abusive, and she raised me here, and then I went out of my way to basically get to know my dad because he contacted me on Facebook. And when he contacted me on Facebook, I told my mom. My mom is like, listen, your dad was abusive to me, but if you want to get to know your dad, go ahead. Cool. So I went to London as a young girl, and I went to go live with him. And it was okay for a little bit until, you know, we had issues trying to get my shari because Hoya did shari ben. And then I was fighting with my mom, and my mom was like, listen, I don't want you to mess with my shari. Just come back. So my dad didn't know the turmoil. I'm very embarrassed to share my life story. My dad didn't know the turmoil.
Don't be embarrassing.
I'm very that I was going through. So then I went to go live with my auntie in Denmark because my dad beat me and he left me on the streets. And then my auntie came and she's like, you could come stay with me. But she was like, you cannot say that your name is Jasmin and that you're born in Denmark. You have to use the Shari Ben. Shari Ben was Amal Muhammad Abdurrahman, born in Kenya. So I went to Koling Gymnasium. And I went to Koling Gymnasium as Amal Muhammad Abdurrahman at 14. born in Kenya, so I felt so disgusting. I felt so nasty because I tried my best to live a normal life, and then she was like, okay, you can't do this, you don't want to be here, you go back to America. So I went back to America. Hooyo started
habar iisug dad badan oo Soomaali aan aqoonin waxaan rabaa qof Soomaali qof Ingiriis ku hadlo ani waxaan rabaa inaan wareysto qof not turjumaanana waa u baahanahay.
Okay,
because aniga interviewga ka qaadaya qof waxa u baahanahay saddexaad oo noo turjumaana.
okay,
see waa aragtaan
yeah,
Soomaalida weydiina is that okay Soomaalida? Because hooyooyina ku daawano dad waayeela ku daawano, they have to understand.
yeah,
ani wareysiga ka qaada qofka wareysiga noo kala turjumaana raba aniga.
oh yeah,
I can translate qofka soo qoray aw sug qofka soo qoray I can translate. qof waxa u baahanahay af Ingiriis, we need translate. Okay, isug marka isug.
I'm sorry, I don't know Somali, I don't be around Somali people.
qofka s wata soo gal guest listiga. qof soo qabtay bare Allah dadkii baa isku waxaysmayso siga qof soo qabtay marka sug. Assalaamu calaykum. Hello. ما هذا iska dag sug.
Again, thank you for taking the time to listen to me.
I have to do. That's why I'm here.
I'm very beat up. I'm very tired.
Don't worry.
But thank you.
dadku waan soo qabanaya dadka ani qof ma soo qaban kara. I don't know why. Hold it. aniga isoo qaba leedin midin soo qaban kara de. Okay, ku soco wixii fahmaa waxaan fahmay waxba naga gelin.
You can lead it. Yeah. We'll find someone.
Go ahead. Haya.
Okay, so that's a little bit of my history growing up. I battled with identity issues because of Shari Ben, but the good thing is that my dad challenged my mom.
Riyaan ma joogtaa? Hello. Riyaan ma joogtaa? Haya habar ku soco. Qof damba ma soo qaban, qofna igu soo qaban, go ahead. Qof aan soo qaban ma af Ingiriis noogu sheekay ku soco.
Okay, so
I think it's more peaceful. Yani either bisa da'ahano, it's more peaceful. Ku soco.
Yeah, whatever you can do so people can understand.
Go ahead.
But my best language is English. So a little bit. So the good thing is that my father challenged my mom. He took my mom to court 8 times and my mom won. And he challenged my mom's Shari, but the judge basically told my dad, he didn't even want custody of me. He wanted to challenge my mom's Shari Ben, but Hoyo did that because my dad was abusive and she wanted to get away from him. So you get older and you start to realize, the laws and everything. So basically what she did was she did this Shari Ben because she didn't want to be under the control of my dad. so that she could get the American Shari, and she won in court when I was underage. And I asked my father, "You're flying 8 times from London during this court battle, and you don't even want custody of me," because he asked for the court to take dependency of me. He didn't even want that. And the judge was like, "Unfortunately, you cannot come to the United States and ask the government to take custody of your child when the mother is fighting to keep her child and you're here." So my mom basically was ruled like, yes, my mom was basically ruled okay with her shari because of that. So during that time, I overdosed, and they took me to, I took a whole bunch of sleeping medication, and they took me to this, because I was so sad about my situation. They took me to a residential facility, and when I went to this residential, they said, you can't keep doing this, you almost died. So I went to this residential facility, I graduated, and then, at that time I was in this lockdown facility. I contacted my father because I was like, I want to leave. I'm tired of being handled like this, because in the beginning, my mom took me to the hospital a lot to medicate me so that I don't talk about Shari Ben. But in the end, around 17, almost 18 years old, she won. So I went through hell with all of that, but in the end she won. But I ended with all of these discrepancies. So my dad was like, you could go to Minnesota, your grandmother actually lives there. And this is the one time that I met my grandma in my whole life. So I booked this car, the car you drive with a whole bunch of people. So I go meet my grandmother, and that's the first time I meet her. She's living alone in an area in Minneapolis called St. Paul. So my dad flies in. He's like, "Okay, you can't keep taking all these stuff. They're gonna be sick. You could come to London." So we go. So my mom is telling me, you ran away from the facility. So if you run away from facilities like this, you get charged with something called AWOL. It's called away without leave, and you get arrested. You go to juvie. So mom is like, "Just come back." So I kept listening to my mom. We even were at the embassy in Denmark, and the Danish embassy said, "No, she's underage. Both of you need to agree to go back." So my mom called the cops on him and everything. And then I went back to some white women came, and they put all the belongings that my grandma gave me in a white trash bag. And I flew on a flight from Minneapolis to Ohio with trash bags with these white women. And then I got arrested because I ran away. And then they released me and put me in a more lockdown facility. And this is towards the end of the case. And then around the end of the case, my mom won. And then, this is so hard for me to talk about, I left the lockdown facility and I went home. Then I decided, like, I can't keep living like this. Like, I'm the one taking the toll with my dad has this revenge tour with my mom. He has Hanna, but then he has towards my mom. And my mom, she's very like, she just has her own order. But I was struggling in the middle of this. So I decided, I worked a little bit, and I when I turned 18, I worked at Pliem. I don't know if they say it in Svensk what Pliem is, so that can do your work with. And I ran to Denmark because the laws there is, if you don't go back to Denmark as a Danish citizen before the age of 20, you will never be a Danish citizen. So I ran to Denmark, and this is before I went Dukan Ellis. So when I went to Denmark, I met my dad. I said, "Dad, I need your help to get my shari," because both Labadin they had shari. And they said that we need to prove, because Denmark, even though you're born in Denmark, both of your parents have to be Danish. The Swedish law is like that too. Both of your parents have to be Danish. And alhamdulillah, both my parents, they already were Danish. So the lady was like, "Do you need to have your father here in order to get your your Danish passport?" So my dad flew in from London. I was so happy because I was like, the goal is to get my Danish shari, and I always wanted to be a doctor. To get my Danish shari and live with my father in London. So we go there, and she gives my Danish shari. She said, "In 2 weeks, you'll get it printed out, and then you'll come back." I said, "Dad, this is around the time."
halkaa istaag very interest. TikTok boy mii maqashaa?
ها وكم مقلاها
Okay, waxaan rabaa sheekada meel fiican ay maraysa. Markay Denmark timaadey sheekada noogu bilaabaysa, so you need to translate, okay? Okay.
Go ahead. I'm
Go ahead,
listening.
marka Denmark timaade.
So around that time, I was able to get my shar'i finally as an adult because I studied the law. They said if you don't come back before.
Yar habar waxa sameynaa ku shaga dhageyso. Marka wax yar hadashid you need to stop si translate loogu sameeyo, okay?
waxay ku tiri intay 20 sano ka hor gaarini inay Denmark tagto waa si ay sharcigeeda u hesho mana ay heli karinin without both parents halkaas aabihii hooyadii haddaynan jooginin aabihii bay u sheegtay intii before aan dhaqan celis lii celinin bay tiri always na waxaan rabay inaan dhaqtarnimo barto. Go ahead.
Yes. So then he said the lady at the commune said you have to wait 2 weeks, you print it off and you're good to go. And then my dad said
Okay, stay one marka hadashid translate ba joogo. Sug haya.
Inaan baxnay ahayd aabihii wuxuu dhahay tiri marka. What did he say your dad?
My dad took me to the ATM and he took out $1,000 equivalent to 6,000 crowns. And he said, you cannot come back to London with me. You can stay in Copenhagen and figure it out for yourself. And then he flew back to London to his other children.
waxay ku tiri aabahii lacag oo adiga 6,000 oo karan u dhiganto $1,000 ah ayuu ATM-ka ka soo bixiyay wuxuu yiri tiri igulama soo noqon kartid London you have to figure waa inaa noloshaada adiga dabartid Denmark joogtid waa ayuu idhahay tiri.
Yeah, because my father he said, I don't want you near my other children or my wife. All of my father's children were 10 years under, like they're 10 years younger than me because he waited 10 years for my mom.
Halka istaag.
Aabay wuxuu yiri ilmahayga agtooda inaan kugu arka ma rabi ilmihiisana 10 year camal bay ga yarihiin ay tiri imuu baahneen ay tiri ma rabi ilmahayga kale inaan kugu arko.
Yes. So after that, I stayed in London. I started working. You know, my Danish was not so good. So I had to go and work at different places. I was a bar back. I was a restaurant. I worked at every...
waxay ku tiri London intaas ka bacdi iska jooga waa shaqaystay tiri waa shaqaysanay Danishkayga muu fiicneen ay tiri sidaasaan London ku joogay. And then
after that, I got accepted to ECAS Brand Gymnasium to do my IB program because they apparently in Denmark they would not accept my high school education. So I decided let me do that, and then I'd be able to go to university anywhere in the world or anywhere I could get accepted to continue.
waxay ku tiri waxbarashadeedii baan London ka sii watay tiri waxaan helay program wax ku barasho ah markaas jaamacad waxaan u aadi karaa tiri wadan kasta aan rabay tiri meel walba adduunka ka mid ah inaan jaamacad u aaday ahayd.
I don't know what you said, but we're just gonna get the message out there. So I stayed in Denmark, and then Hoyo came right before my birthday. Do you know that the summers are very short in Denmark before school? I was supposed to start school very soon. Hoyo and Abo came. That's when they started to organize my affairs. At that time, I managed to save $4,000 in my bank accounts because I was trying to save money there before I go to school. So I'll tell you that in a second. So mom and my dad, I've never seen them sit in a room together. They were just treating me this is my perspective. They're treating me so nice. They were being so kind to me. Hoya took me to the bazaar. Everything was like nice before I went. So then my mom said, we're gonna go to Uganda. I was so happy. I don't know what happened to him.
No, go ahead.
She said, you're going to go to Uganda. You're going to see family members. And I was kind of happy because I was so lonely in Copenhagen. I didn't have a lot of friends. I'm sorry I got a phone call. I'm going to tell somebody something. Maybe you can get the guy up here.
Okay, go ahead then.
Oh, yeah.
Mood girl.
Okay.
You don't need to translate. مو بهندين ما هو translate. أنا وحابة في عم بإذا كلية دينا دقي سنو. كدب هذا سؤال.
Yeah, that was somebody. So after, I'm trying to remember the story. So they sat with me. I never seen them. They were basically starting my affair. She told me you could go to Kampala. You have a lot of family in Kampala. and you can visit family, you could take a break. I'm like, okay, well, I'm so lonely up here, I'm so sad, I'm trying so hard. So we go and we land in Dubai for a couple days, and then she goes to the airport in Hargeisa. So Hoya took me by the hand. We're in the airport in Hargeisa. The police come, they take Hoya's shari, and I said, you're gonna take my mom's shari, you could take mine too. That's how much I was down for my mom. That's how much I loved my mom, right? So I gave up my shari. It was all a trick. The lady from Meshadahun, mind you, I've been researching for 10 years. The lady from Meshadahun, she comes, the one who had the ilash. It ended up being alash. This is something very important. I need everybody to know. I hired investigators. I hired attorneys. That place was never under the Board of Education. It was a money-making scam. It was technically an ilash, and my dad funded everything for her so that she could make money with him. And this is things I find later. So I've gotten older. I discovered that my dad owns a very big boating company. He went back to Kismayo. He opened up boating company. I've noticed there was politician next to him. I noticed that he's doing all of these things, but my father, I've tried many years to contact him. I tried many years to talk to him. I tried many years for him to be my family. I tried to call lawyers. I tried to call people to do family recognition, but these people, they toss me everywhere. I went on television. I shared my story recently. This year, I was on YLE. And I told them, I'm asking for public support. I have a video where I'm asking for public support. This time I come in a suit, and I tell them a lot of the parents, they don't know what they're doing. Sometimes they're thinking they're doing the right thing, taking their children to these places so they can learn their culture. But first of all, you don't take your children to places to learn your culture, and that's where the unbrainwash happen. If you want your children to learn the culture, you take them yourselves and you teach them everything. You go by themselves. You don't dump them in these facilities, because people don't understand that you Somali back home, they don't look at your children like your children. They look at your children like they're a meal ticket. They look at your children like you're going to get money. Your children are money. They don't look at your children. If you want to show, and that's what I did. So I went on television in Finland. They tried so hard. For years, they tried to use my story for propaganda. And I always said nothing about Islam. But then I've tried everything you could think of, and I realized, why am I not being the one uplifted? Because what my father did and how he's treated me, and how I just needed him in my life at every moment. And for him to go back, my birthday is the day before Father's Day. So for him to go back and build his country, it broke my heart even more. And that's what I have to say. If people could come up here and translate, because all I see is translate, I want to know.
Okay, isu marka turjuana soo qabana. Waxa ka hadlay is very important. Isu marka. Wiilkii TikTok boy soo laabo. Ya badana adduunyada Ilaahay.
Someone's saying Komeo.
Don't listen to these people.
No, I think they want someone. I know, I learned what Komeo means.
Isu marka sug. Oh my goodness. Ani wax ma soo qaban karaba.
What is that? What does Komeo Sokabo even mean?
So qofka ku soo qabtay.
No. So bring Komeo on Sokabo.